Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for signing on today. Happy Monday. We are feeling so good today. We're really excited. We have a great treat for you guys. This is our POAC online recreational events. My name is Brittany, and we have the amazing Danny from New Jersey here. I don't know if you've seen him before. We've had him at past events, and everyone was blown away. Some happy, some scared, some excited. You'll have a roller coaster of emotions when you see all his amazing critters. Another thing before we start, guys, our walkathons are coming up July 19th. That is a Sunday. It is virtual. Please sign up on poacwalk.org. Thank you so much for the people that have already started your walk teams. We want to get a few more so we can continue this virtually and in person. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Danny from New Jersey. Take it away, Danny.
Hi, all my friends at POAC. I'm so happy to be here with you today and to show you some really fun and exciting animals, which we have plenty of to show you. And you may have noticed they're kind of stealing the introduction away is our first animal, and that's our Kookaburra. And here he is right here. Hi, Kook. You can say hi. Everybody's over here. He's looking for food, and maybe we'll feed him in a second if you guys are up for it. But if you don't know Kook, he's the guy right here on my shirt. That's him. Right? Is that you admiring yourself? Kook is one of my favorite animals. He's been with me since he's been about 7 days old. He's a laughing kookaburra, and they are these awesome birds from Australia. They like to basically eat reptiles. That's their favorite food. Now here at New Jersey, we don't feed him reptiles because reptiles are friends, not food, but he does eat mice. So maybe if you guys are up for it, we can feed him a frozen mouse, which is what he likes to eat. But before we do that, let's see if we can get him to do something really fun for us now. The reason he's called a laughing kookaburra is because, oh, he's getting some wing stretches in there. The reason he's called a laughing kookaburra is because he makes a really amazing noise that some of you may have heard if you've watched any movie that have a jungle or a rainforest scene in it. You probably have heard a kookaburra noise. So we're going to see if we can get him to call. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to play something really loud because he likes to be the loudest person in the room, right? He doesn't like anyone to challenge him. He likes to be super, super loud. So what I've learned is that police sirens will sometimes get him to go. So here's a warning. If you are wearing headphones now, okay, you might want to take them off because it's going to get really loud here in just a few minutes, okay? So this is your headphone warning. Take them off. If you don't like loud noises, you can also lower the volume on your computer. But let's say if we can get Kook to call, okay? Here we go. I'm going to get on my phone here and play a siren noise. Now, he might jump out of my hand. He likes to jump onto a high place. So let me see if I hold him here. Maybe he'll stay. If not, he'll probably fly right at the computer, giving you guys a super cool 3D look. Okay, here we go. What's that? What's that? There we go. Oh, he took off calling. He's going to find a really loud place. There he goes. Let me see if I can get him back. Hold on. Okay. That was good, right? That was good. Okay, you called. Apparently you're not done calling yet. You're going to go around. You're going to go back and forth. See, he does not like to keep talking. Okay, I think he's setting up. Let's let it go. Not, maybe not. I'll tell you what. Kook, hi, give me a second here. He's not done yet. Okay, I think he's got it out of his system. Okay, he did. Yay. All right, for Kook. We're going to feed him. Let's try giving him some food. Kook, hold on a second, buddy. We're going to give him some food. And like I said, basically what he does is he eats frozen mice. So I'm going to give him a frozen mouse. Now, he's not going to chew it up. It's not going to be gross. What he's going to do, he's going to just swallow it in one shot. And I forgot to mention, by the way, guys, please feel free to ask all your questions. If you have questions here on the sidebar, put them in the chat. And if I can catch them, I'll be more than glad to answer any of your questions about some of the animals that we have here today. So I apologize if that was really loud and carried on for a while. He was apparently had a lot to get out of his system. But let's give him a mouse. And what he's going to do is he's going to swallow the mouse whole. That's what they do, right? That's why his beak is so long and his mouth is actually really big. Not only because he's a loud mouth, but also because that mouth helps him to swallow his food whole. And even when he's eating like a 2 or 3 foot long snake, he doesn't break it up into pieces like a hawk or an owl do. He will just swallow the whole thing. It's really, really amazing. Okay, so let's get a mouse for him down here. Let's see if I can keep his attention away from it because I don't want to see it at a time, because if he sees it, he's going to try to steal it from me. Stay there. Okay, almost. Yes, you know it's coming. Okay, here we go. I will now give him a mouse, and he's going to tilt his head back and swallow it whole. Here we go. You ready, Cook? Here we go. All right. And just like that, it's gone. So yeah, that's what they do. They just eat everything kind of whole, just like that. They're really, really amazing birds, really amazing predators. But you know what? We have a lot more to show you. So I'm going to place him over in the next room really quick, because he cannot be here while we visit with our other animal friends, because they will end up like that mouse, right? So let me put him over in one more room, and I'll be right back and show you our next really cool creature. All right, good job. All right. Sorry, that was a lot of fun. I don't know why he got so carried away, but thank you. I'm glad you guys are excited. It's very nice to see some of you out there. Hello to Katie, to Chris, Heather. Hi guys. It's really, really exciting to have you here with me. So I have an animal that is super, super special that I want you to take a look at. Okay. This creature is really unique, and a lot of people don't know. There's actually a lot of things that people believe about them that aren't true. So maybe we can catch a couple of those things here today. Okay. Now I want you to watch really, really closely, all right, when I bring this animal out, because this animal is going to change right before your eyes. I'm talking about it is going to look completely different from the moment I take it out to the moment I put it back in. So get your observation goggles on, all right, and get ready to watch really, really closely and see what happens. Okay. Hi, Tom and Sky. Hi, Jaden. I'm glad you guys made it. I'm glad you guys joined us. All right. Hi, Miss Jen's preschool. All right, here we go. Ready? Check this out. This is so cool. Come on, buddy. Come show off for us a little bit here. There you go. Come on. You got this. There we go. Now, this is a chameleon. And he's going to start to change colors right away, right in front of you, because they change colors pretty instantly, mostly depending on their mood. You see, a lot of people think that chameleons change color to match their backgrounds. That's not the case. They usually change color to communicate. And as you can see, he is already starting to change up quite a bit, right? You see those reds and blues are starting to change. This is a really magnificent animal. Now, they're not super fast, so they've got these really long tongues. Their tongues are probably about twice the length of their body. So if he was sitting, let's say, right here on my hand, he could very easily eat a cricket that was way over here with no problem, because his tongue is so, so long, right? Another thing that you'll notice about them is that they live in the trees, right? So they have these really cool hands. You see his little hands there? He goes, he's showing one off for you. Let me see if I can show it off against the curtain here. Yeah, he's got these really cool grabby hands, and basically his fingers are stuck together, right? They're stuck together on either side. And with that, he can kind of clamp onto a branch and hang on really, really tight. And he can even do it without thinking about it. So when he's sleeping, he doesn't even have to think about hanging on. And basically his hands just do all the work for him, right? He's also got this really cool tail, and you can see what the tail's used for. It helps him to hold on to things. So it's almost like a fifth arm. Imagine if you had a fifth arm that you could climb around with, you'd be like the coolest person at the monkey bars, let me tell you, because this is really, really cool. He is so made for living in the trees. And look at those colors. Look how much the colors have changed already. Connor, Jacob, are you guys seeing this? Hi, Tim Lucas. Check this out, guys. Look at how amazing and how different he's already looking. Right? This is a really wonderful creature. And it's really important that we learn as much as we can about chameleons like this, because this chameleon, he comes from a very special place. It's an island called Madagascar, right? And unfortunately, their homes are getting destroyed because the rainforest is the only place that these animals live. And people are starting to chop down the rainforests, unfortunately. So we have to do our best to protect their homes so that these animals have a place to live, because they don't live anywhere else in the world. So we have to make sure that we can learn as much as we can and tell people how amazing they are, and tell people that we should really be doing our best to protect these really amazing animals. And he's on the go. You can see he's marching. I'm going to give you one more really good look at him. Oh, yeah, one more thing I want to show you about him. It's super amazing. I cannot not talk about this, okay? This is great. Take a look. I'm going to try to hold him closer to the camera, and take a look at his eyes if you can, okay? when he moves his eyes, he can move them each in 2 different directions. All right. So I'm going to hold him close and let's get a look. If you can see his eyes, there's one eye. There you go. You see one eye is looking in one direction and the other eye is looking in the completely other different direction. Sean, are you seeing that, Sean? Isn't that amazing? Katie's saying hello to you too, by the way. If you guys have any questions about these animals, you can feel free to ask me, okay? I will gladly answer any of your questions. But look at his cool little googly eyes, and they look in 2 different directions. And you can also blink them separately too, so you can wink if you wanted to, right? You see his little hands there hanging on to me? You see how special his little hands are and how they're kind of little fused together fingers, and they help him to climb and everything. And look at those colors, right? He's got these cool deep purple and red colors showing through. Really, really cool animal. I love chameleons. They're one of my favorite lizards of all time. They are super spectacular. And like I said, we have to do as much as we can to protect them, because once they're gone, they're going to be gone, unfortunately. So, all right, let's move on. Do you guys want to see some more animals? Let's go see some more animals. We're going to put this guy back in his home up here. And I'm going to come back and show you another really fun animal. Oops, come on, buddy, get up there. Let's put your branches back so that you can make sure you get sunlight. Chameleons love sunlight, and so it's really important you keep them in a cage where they get a lot of lighting. And this isn't his normal cage. This is his feeding cage. This is where we put him when we're going to feed him crickets. So this way he doesn't have crickets running around all over him and all over his body in his normal cage where he lives all the time, because that's what he likes to eat, crickets and cockroaches, right? Aren't they delicious? Don't we all love crickets and cockroaches? All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to get our next animal. He's really fun. All right. All right, buddy. Now, I think of cute creatures. When I think of super cute creatures, this guy always comes to mind. Josie wants to know if he's scaly. Josie, oh, you were talking about the chameleon. Before I show this guy, yeah, let me answer your questions about the chameleons. Yes, Josie, he's really scaly. Those scales help him to keep his body, moist inside. So he lives in a place that's really, really hot, and those scales help protect him from the heat. So they're very important. But yeah, he does feel really scaly, and he's got a really strong grip with those little special hands. So he's a lot of fun. Chris, yeah, his coloring is beautiful. Absolutely. They have gorgeous colors, and they all look very different. It depends on where on the island they're from. So they're come in all kinds of colors, like red, blue, purple. They're just, oh, they're so amazing. Lacey Rogers asked, how does the kookaburra eat a snake whole? Well, it's actually pretty amazing stuff. So what they'll do is they'll hang out really high up on a tree, right? And then they drop down on their food, usually a snake or a lizard. And then they grab that animal with their beak, with that big, strong beak, and they start to crush and squeeze with that beak, right? And they'll basically, they'll kill the animal at that point. But they're not done with it. They'll fly back up to the tree with, let's say, like a 3-foot long snake. And then they'll take the snake and they'll smash it to one side on the branch. Yeah. And then they'll smash it to the other side on the branch. Yeah. And when it's all really mushy and all the bones are broken up, that's when he swallows it. And he swallows it whole, just like he did with that mouse. They have amazing stomachs. As a matter of fact, they have one of the biggest stomachs in the bird world. So it's because they just basically need to be able to fit everything in there. So yeah, that was a really great question. Thanks for that one. All right, let's see. Let me show you my next friend. This is cuteness overload. Are you ready? Now, I know that things like puppies and kittens can be really cute, but they don't compare to my next friend. This is Pancake. Yes. Isn't he amazing? Right? Look at his face. This is a marine toad. Isn't he cool? This is one of the largest toads in the world. And yeah, he's pretty big. He's actually this big. He's about the size of a dinner plate. Let me see if we can get him in the center there and focus. Ah, look at those eyes. Isn't he handsome? Now, this is a marine toad, and like I said, it's one of the biggest toads in the world. They get huge just like this, right? And this guy, he normally comes from South America. And in South America, all the animals know to keep away from him, because not only will he eat anything that he can fit into his mouth, which is a lot because it's a big mouth, right? But they have these big bumps right here. You see these bumps? Let me see if I can point with my other hand. I don't want to drop them. See that bump right there? Ooh, that lumpy thing right there. Boop, boop. I booped his poison sack, because that's what that is, right? That's basically a little bag filled with poison. And when this toad gets really scared or nervous, or tries to leave my hand, when this toad gets really scared or nervous, right, he basically spreads that poison all over his body. And then any animal that tries to eat him or tries to bite him gets a mouth full of that poison. Oh, you just want to say hi to everybody, right? Every animal that tries to eat him gets a mouth full of that poison, right? And when that happens, they get really, really sick, or they could even die, right? So they usually don't make that mistake twice. So everyone knows to keep away from this toad. So where they live in South America, they're kind of a problem, but not really. Now, the big problem is that a long time ago, people started bringing these toads to places where they didn't belong, especially in Australia, right? In Australia, these guys showed up, and the animals there didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know how to deal with these poisonous creatures that they tried to eat and would get sick and die from. So they are now taking over Australia. These toads are everywhere down there because they don't have too many predators that will eat them. So it's causing actually a lot of problem. It's almost the opposite problem we have with the chameleon, right? With the chameleon, we have an issue that its home is being destroyed. And with this animal, the issue is he's taking over everybody's home. And we have him right here in the United States. We have them in Florida. These guys live all over Florida. That's right. And down there, they've even learned to hang out near dog food bowls. And basically, they wait for the owners to fill the dog food in the bowl. And then they come out at night and they eat up all the dog food. Super easy food, right? It's like a buffet table. Why not? Right? So yes, he's very cute. I know. I think you guys have some questions. Let me see. Connor wants to know the difference between a toad and a frog. Connor, that's a spectacular question. That's a really good one. The biggest difference is that frogs need to live in water, right? Most frogs. There are some frogs that don't, like tree frogs. They just live up in the trees, but they need to stay very wet all the time. If a frog dries out, it will die. Toads, they're basically frogs that can travel. They don't need to be around water all the time. I mean, they need to get some water and soak it up. And the really cool thing is, how he drinks water? He drinks water with his belly. Yeah, he sits in water and his belly just soaks up like a sponge, and it goes right through his skin. And basically, that's how they get water in their bodies. So a toad can travel for a long time, and that makes a toad be able to live in places that frogs can't, like in the desert. There's a lot of toads in the desert. There's toads in the desert. There's toads in the rainforest. There's toads right here in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. We've got lots of cool toads, actually like two toads, and they are very, very cool. Now, they're not going to be anywhere near this big, but they are super cool nonetheless, right? Let's see what else. Josie says teacher loves frogs and toads. What is his favorite food? Josie, Josie, you know what his favorite food are? Cockroaches, crickets, and also frozen mice. Except that the frozen mice, I have to like kind of wiggle them around, and so it turns into like a little puppet show until he eats his food. It's the only time I let him play with his food. But yeah, so crickets and cockroaches. He likes cockroaches because they're really big. And yeah, and of course, like I said, who doesn't love cockroaches? Won't he spread the poison on you when you're holding him, Tony Damaskinos? Tony, that's a really good question too. And yeah, you know what? Normally, I would be concerned, but you see, me and this guy, we're friends. We're really good friends. We've been working together for a long time now, and he knows that I'm not going to hurt him, right? And so he's not going to spread his poison because it takes his body a while to make it too, so he doesn't want to waste it. And he knows that I'm holding him, and he's trying to tell me right now that he wants to get away by crawling away, but he knows I'm not going to hurt him. Now, if I hurt him, if I was like bite, I didn't do it, by the way, but if I was like bite his leg, right? Then he would probably spread the poison, and then that would be bad. And I wouldn't die, but I would get really, really sick, and this show would be much, much shorter. So we're not going to do that. But I do love him. He's really great. I love toads. Toads are some of my favorite creatures. So they're really, really sweet. Donna Anderson, no, you look at that face. How can you say that? How can you say that? Look at that face. He's so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to put him back before he actually does end up spreading poison on me, which should not be fun. All right. So we will go to it. Brent wants to know how he sucks up water from his belly. That's a really good question. You know what? Let me put him back, and I'm going to answer that question for Brent really fast. Okay. All right. Come on, buddy. There you go. Thank you. You were really great. Thank you for not poisoning me. Okay, Brent. So basically, think of his skin like a sponge. It has a lots of openings, but you can't see these openings. They occur on a microscopic level. You can see it in a microscope, right? And they can control how water moves in and out of their skin. So sometimes if they don't go to the bathroom, they can let the toxins out of their body through their skin as well as soak water up in. So that's why frogs and toads are so important for the environment, because when an environment is healthy, you always have frogs and toads, right? If there's pollution, the poison or the pollution gets into the water, And the first animals that get affected by that are frogs and toads, and they disappear. And when they disappear, we know there's a problem. So frogs and toads are super important for the environment. For that reason, they're usually the first ones to tell you, hey, something is really wrong with this water, or there's something that shouldn't be in, some chemical that shouldn't be in this water, and we got to get out of here. So yeah, they're pretty cool. How much does my frog weigh? The toad, the Suriname toad, oh my God, like cane toad, probably, I'm going to say maybe a pound and a quarter. So like, yeah, maybe like a pound and a quarter. So like 2 Whoppers. Yeah, if you like Burger King. What did I do? Anyway, yeah, we'll carry on, but that's how much he weighs. All right, I have another really fun animal for you. This is a really cool creature. Let me move this out of the way here so I don't get bitten, because this animal eats mice as well. And I had a mouse here, so let me move it over. But this is a really, really cool creature. And this is a new creature here at Zoo Jersey. So you guys are going to be some of the first to see it, which I'm really excited about. This is a really cool animal. Now, I've got my microphone here, and when I take the animal out, I'm going to hold him up to the microphone, because this guy usually gives me a greeting that is very loud for a snake. He is a hisser. Yep, you heard it right. He hisses very loudly when I pick him up. Now, he might not do it, of course, and make me look bad, but I think he might, and if he does, we'll definitely be able to hear it on the microphone. So let me pull him out for you really quick, and we'll see what kind of mood he's in. Hey, buddy. Okay. Oh, he's hissing. Hi, buddy. Okay. Hey. All right. This is a really cool animal. Of course, he's not hissing now. He's fine. Once I take him out, it's usually only when I first open up his cage that he's like, "Arr!" But usually he's fine after that. And of course, he doesn't yell. That was me improvising. Anyway, this is a boa constrictor. This is a baby boa constrictor. This guy is about 4 months old now. And he's really special. This is a Suriname boa, and they are beautiful. Now, that patterning is very special and definitely stands out, right? But you wouldn't believe how well they camouflage. They camouflage so well. If he was sitting on a pile of leaves right now, you would basically not see him, because that pattern, let me show it to you here real close. This pattern really breaks up his appearance and his outline. Now, the really special thing about boa constrictors is that they're called red-tailed boas for a reason, all right? You see his colors are very kind of brown and gray and kind of dull. They're pretty, but they're really kind of dull, right? But then when we get to his tail, look at that tail. Oh, look at how pretty. Wait, let me get a good focus here. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that cool looking? You see how pretty that tail is? So that's sometimes they're called red-tailed boas for this reason. Now, it's really weird, right? You would think that an animal like this that likes to camouflage or likes to blend in wouldn't have such a brightly colored tail that they do. And for a long time, we didn't know why that was. We didn't know why this animal that likes to camouflage has such a weird bright tail that sticks out, that stands out, right? And eventually, after keeping them for many years, people realize that what they'll do is they'll hide themselves. They'll camouflage all their bodies, sometimes underneath the leaves, sometimes on top of the leaves, and then they'll leave a little tiny bit of their tail sticking out of the leaves, usually pointed upwards. And let's see if we can get them to move it the right way. But sometimes they can move their tails. Let's see, do it. Here we go. There we go, a little bit there. They can move their tails and make it look just like a worm, right? So if this little guy is sitting on the jungle rainforest floor, he can go hunting without having to actually go out and look for food. He can make the food come to him, which is pretty amazing, right? And what he does is, like I said, he'll hide himself, and then he'll stick his tail out and he'll move his tail very slowly and kind of wiggle it. And a bird might come by, or a small mammal, and say, hey, that looks like something that might be yummy. And when they go to bite the tail, the snake jumps out and grabs them. Now, this is called a boa constrictor because they're not venomous. They don't have any poison, but they do squeeze their food. They constrict their food. And basically what he does is he holds onto his food with really big teeth, and then he moves his body, his coils around the animal, and he squeezes very tightly until the animal's gone. And then he eats it head first. The whole thing, one shot. Once again, he eats everything head first, and usually just kind of gone in one shot. So this is a really cool snake. I'm glad we got to show him off to you. He's going to get huge. Right now, he's probably about maybe 20 inches long, which is just under 2 feet. But this guy is going to get to be about 12 to 16 feet long. Can you imagine that? He's just a baby, but he's going to be a monster one day. And maybe you guys can meet him sometime next year and you'll see how much bigger he is in person, right? Okay, we're going to put him back and we're going to get on with one more. I think we have time for one more really cool animal that I want to show you. I think everyone's going to love. Come on, buddy. Here we go. All right. Okay. Let me see. Let's have some questions. My little friend Dan wants to know if a toad gets poisoned, does it technically croak? That was a good one. Yes, it does. I love it. That was totally funny. Hello? Totally funny. Okay, next animal. Okay, this is going to be really cool. All right, this is really, really cute. Here we go. All right. Come on, buddy. Let's see it. It's okay, girl. Come on. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to go out with something super duper cute. Not only super duper cute, but super duper fuzzy. Are you ready for dun 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 dun? This is Olaf the chinchilla. Chinchillas are really special, cool animals. They come from the mountains of South America. And I wish you guys could be here because this is the world's softest animal. We are talking like softer than a puppy, softer than a kitten. We are talking about like unicorn soft. They are so amazing and fun. And you can see it's very, very cute, right? They're amazing. And I love chinchillas because they kind of live out in these cliffs and they use their whiskers and their eyesight and their hearing, their ears to keep away from predators because where they live, animals like to eat them. That's true. And chinchillas are really different. They're kind of amazing. They in the wild, they're almost an endangered species for the same reason the chameleons are, because their habitat is gone and they're disappearing. But we keep so many of them as pets that there are literally hundreds of thousands of them just in the United States alone. That's not even counting like Europe and Canada. So it's not an animal that will ever really go extinct in the wild, but they'll definitely be around in captivity for a long time. So they are really, really cool, really fun. And isn't it cute? Look at that face. They have these little whiskers and they always use their little whisker nose to kind of smell and sense everything around them, right? What do you think? Do you guys think he's cute? We have a couple questions. Let me catch up with some questions. Brent wants to know how the boa eats big prey whole. Oh, Brent, that's another really great question. So what we do, well, not what we do, what the snake does is basically, hey, do you want to help me demonstrate? What perfect timing, right? Is this snake will basically start to eat their prey head first, because that means that when something gets swallowed head first, its arms kind of fold up and it gets swallowed a lot easier. And that's kind of gross, but it's true. So basically, the snake's mouth can stretch really wide this way, upwards, and it can stretch really wide that way, sideways, because their jaws are not like our jaw. Our jaw is one bone, right? One solid bone. Their jaw is actually two bones, one here and one here, two long ones. And in the middle, they're connected with something, it's called a ligament, and basically it's like a rubber band. So it allows their bones to stretch sideways really wide and also stretch really wide this way. So because of that, they can stretch their mouth and just go burp, 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 and kind of crawl over their prey and eat them. But we won't do it to chinchilla because she's cute, right? He's cute. So yeah, that's a great question. That's kind of what happens, right? Are you a zoo worker? Am I a zoo worker? I'm not anymore. I've been a zookeeper for many, many years. I was a zookeeper at the Bronx Zoo and at Turtleback Zoo here in New Jersey. And right now I'm a zookeeper here at Zoo Jersey. Which you guys are always more than welcome to find out more about. Hi, Adrian. How are you? Yeah, right, Dawn. Isn't she cute? She's so cute. Mac wants to know if chinchillas have to live in cold climates. Mac, fantastic question. Absolutely, they do. So now in the summertime, our chinchillas actually stay in an air-conditioned room because if it gets too warm, they get very uncomfortable and they can actually even get sick or die if it gets way too hot for them. Usually like about 80 degrees is way too hot for them. They're like 75 degrees or so. But we keep their room like about 60, 65, 70 degrees most of the year round. In the wintertime, sometimes we let it get really cold. Sometimes we have them in an outdoor porch where they can go outside for a little bit, and they love the cold. They don't like getting wet, but they love the cold. I was wondering if I have a tub here to show you guys. Maybe I could see, let me see if I can get him to take a quick bath for you. Do you guys want to see if he'll take a quick bath? Because what I was going to tell you is they love the cold, but they don't like getting wet. And basically what they do is they like to take a dust bath. You're very welcome, Mac. They like to take dust baths. And let's see if we can get him to do it. So just stay with me for 1 second. And let me see. Brent asked if you have a chinchilla as a pet. Actually, Brent, I have a couple of chinchillas. This is one of mine. Yeah. They do stuff here in New Jersey, but they're my pets. All these animals that you saw today, they all live with me or nearby me. I have a place that's right nearby the house where I keep some of them that require special conditions. So all of these animals that you're seeing today are basically my pets, and that's what makes New Jersey different. Is that we keep our animals very, very close to us all the time, and that's why they love doing stuff and they love doing programs and seeing guys like you out there who are taking so much interest in them. They absolutely love that. All right, let me see real quick if I can get them to take a quick dust bath for you. Give me 30 seconds. We're going to get a container out here, and we will then take the container and fill it with some chinchilla dust. And no, it is not made out of chinchillas. Hold on. All right. Okay, so let's see if this works. I've never tried to do this on camera in my hands, but let's see if it works, okay? So we take a chinchilla and we put them in a container like this, and the container has this really fine dust in it. It actually comes from volcanoes. It's pretty cool. And they love to take baths in it. So let's see if we can get her to take a bath. I'm gonna pop her in here, and let's see. Oh, there she goes. She's taking a dust bath, and it's very dusty. And she likes to roll around, and you can see she likes to roll around the dust. It's very messy. But it's cute, right? Isn't she cool? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of her because it's very dusty. I'm gonna put her back. Give me 1 second. And of course, we got crazy kookaburras in the background. The action never ends around here in New Jersey. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me. Let me see. We have a couple more questions I want to catch up with. So Mac, you're very welcome. Josie wants to know, does the chinchilla have a tail? Yeah, chinchilla has a really cool kind of long brushy tail. I'm sorry I didn't get to show it to you. She's kind of in the middle of her dust bath now. I take her back out. But yeah, there you go. You did see the tail. Okay, cool. Well, good. I'm glad you guys saw it. I'm glad you, there's dust and fur everywhere. Oh my goodness. This is a very interesting taste in my mouth. I never tasted chinchilla dust before, but it was so worth it to hang out with you guys. Thank you so much for coming here today and spending time. And thank you, Poak, for having me. It's been a pleasure as always. I love spending time with you guys. Be sure to check out everything on Facebook. You can check out Zoo Jersey there. And if anyone ever wants to have an appointment with one of our animals, give us a call. Thank you guys very much. Have a great rest of the day.